24th, 2002, earning 58% of the vote over the other finalists. Her official prize was a $1 million RCA record contract. The unofficial prize was instant, mind-boggling fame.
Going into the studio to make this record, I'd already worked in studios. I'd already done, I was, the backup vocal queen, so I already knew I had that, down, and I already knew, the songs, because I'd already, written on Miss Independent, and, we'd already had the material. It was just going into the studio and doing it, and I'd already had experience in the studio. And even if not beforehand, like I did in LA, you did on the show. We were in studios every day, recording stuff, and, doing group songs and doing everything. So, I already had all this experience in the studio. I was very prepared for that. But it was, the new thing was, working with producers that, I actually have a say. When you're a backup vocalist, you don't have a say. You have to do exactly what they tell you, So, with this, it was cool because I got to kind of, be the creator instead of, the person behind, just behind the voice. Millions of fans were waiting for a record right after, American Idol. So, a lot of people went out and bought that record just because, they voted for the girl on the TV show and they wanted to know what I was doing, and then, people actually ended up liking, the music. It wasn't just about that. So, they liked the fact that I was writing the singles, and they liked, just everything that was happening. I got that in interviews like, oh, how's it writing on the show? And it's like, wow. So basically what you're saying to me is that I have actual no talent and I'm writing off of a television program. Okay. So let's see how I can change this. And it's not that I'm like feeling like I have to prove myself to someone, but it's just like all the people that are working their tails off with me, that's basically a slap in the face when someone says you're just successful because of one thing, because all of us are putting our time and energy and heart into a project, and we want to be, be appreciated for that, so with the next record, we went a different direction. We did it a little bit more rock.
Kelly capitalized on her TV fame by selling 3 million copies of her debut album, Thankful. Critics predicted, though, that as the memory of American Idol faded, so too would sales of her second album, Breakaway. They were soon proven to be completely wrong.
Breakaway was very different, and then it came out, and and now it's kind of like okay, so now you can't say, because I'm not doing anything like I did on the show. So, obviously my fan base, a big part of my fan base is from that, but I've sold almost triple what I sold with the first record, so that's a completely different fan base that I've gotten, now, and also traveling around the world. Nobody saw me on the show, in different parts of the country. When I go to Latin America or Australia or, all these different places, they never saw my show. They just like the songs. So it's kind of cool. I kind of get, the best of both worlds. People always thought, making this second album was going to be like the sophomore curse and, it's all this pressure because the first one had, platinum success, and I wasn't nervous at all. I love challenges. I love the fact that, there was kind of that can you do it thing. All that does is make me better. I've always been like that since I was a kid. So, and it's cool for me. I want to, obviously step up the game. I want to do something different. I want to keep myself entertained just as much as y'all. So, I don't want to be on stage singing the same stuff over and over again. That would be pretty boring for me. I put boring and dull together. That's now a word. But that'd be pretty dull for me. So, I don't know. With this record, I wasn't nervous at all. I, went in the studio and did a record I wanted to do, and the, music I loved. My big goal for this project is worldwide. Like, I love touring. That is my favorite thing about my whole job. I will risk and sacrifice everything else with this job so I can tour. And I can only tour so much in the States, and I love traveling and seeing the world, so I just figure why not be able to do both at the same time. So, my big goal, and I had a big talk with my management and the record label, is, to become, more of a world artist rather than just America, because I don't like living in the bubble of just America. I love America, obviously, but, there's so much different culture. There's so many different things to see and learn about, and I love it. I love traveling.
Here I am, once again. The years since American Idol have been the stuff of dreams to Kelly, traveling the world, selling millions of albums, singing to millions of people, and probably, most satisfyingly of all, winning the respect and admiration of artists whose music she grew up listening to.
I've had a lot of highlights. I've been so blessed with everything that's happened to me in the past 3 or 4 years, and I think one of the biggest ones are moments like, the VMAs, this past VMAs in the States. I was thrilled that I was even nominated, you know, and it's an award show, so that's, you know, it's just an award, but I was thrilled just to be, you know, nominated in the same category with people like Mariah Carey and Gwen Stefani, people that I grew up listening to and adore and, you know, are influenced by. So, you know, that was a win for me, but, you know, then to know that people in the industry vote for those awards, you know, that's like your peers, you know, appreciating you, to win awards, like to win that was a pretty amazing thing for me. I got speechless, and it's very hard to make me speechless.
Perhaps somewhat still surprised by the change in her life since American Idol took her from small-town Texas to the world stage, Kelly has refused to rest on her laurels, and even now is already writing songs for the next album.
I'm always working. I'm always writing, either for my records or for, you know, other projects. Or for free therapy. It's just therapeutic writing. So, but I'm always writing, and I've already, you know, written a good 4 or 5 songs for my next record that are definitely on the record already. So, my band and I mean, we're on the road a lot. All we do is tour. So obviously that's, you know, we're always, you know, inspiring each other, because we're all, you know, you get a bunch of musicians and musical people and creative people in a room. All you're going to want to do is, you know, create. So we're constantly doing stuff like that and showcasing the new material at tours and shows, you know, giving people a little taste test. And the new record, you know, how it's kind of evolving is very soulful rock. You know, it's just even more that way. So hopefully people dig it, because I'm absolutely loving it. So.
Despite Kelly's success, TV talent shows still draw harsh criticism from those who say they can offer only fleeting fame and fail to showcase real talent. It's an argument Kelly obviously has little time for.
Obviously, there are critics out there for anyone and any way you get in the business. So obviously there's people out there that, you know, are like, oh, you came from a TV show and it's manufactured. The funny thing about, I can't speak for any other type of show, like I know they have things like Pop Stars or other kinds of shows, but with the Idol show, the one I came from in America, I don't know about different countries, but I got to pick what I sang, what I wore, what I talked about. Anything that happened on the show was me. And no first-time artist gets to do that. The manufactured part, it's quite the opposite, you know. I got to write on my first record. I got to tour and do things, you know, make my show how I wanted to without people making me do it. You know, it's the opposite of being packaged. So I turned down, you know, 2 deals that came to me without the show, and they were horrible. And then you give me this option that's, I get to do anything I want, and then you're gonna give me a deal? Like, that's, I'd be a moron to turn that down. So, you know, all I can say to, you know, people that are against the show is that's cool. I'm not really a planner. I've never been a planner. But I do, like, have goals, obviously. Like, my big thing is to become more of a world artist. That's the big one, especially for right now. And 2, you know, to constantly be, you know, changing. Like, I love making different records. I love that they're not all the same. I love that whenever I tour, I have completely different songs that you would never guess are from the same artist. You know, so my goal is to never limit myself. I never want to become that person that just makes a record to have hits. I have plenty of records that nobody even knows of. People like Patty Griffin, that she is probably one of the most talented women on the planet, and nobody knows who she is, but she's making something that she loves, and that's awesome, and inspiring people like me. So, you know, that's just what I want to keep doing. That's just my big goal. Obviously, I'm like any other girl. I want to get married and have children, like 4, and I want at least 4. I want kids. And, you know, I want to be the soccer mom and you know, do that whole thing, but not anytime soon, but, you know, it's obviously, you know, in the future, that's what I want to do.